In the meantime, Mrs. Michelle Sandry, Senior Criminal Investigator, Office of District Attorney, Santa Clara, California, has supported our demand. Future to subpoena physicians to testify truth and only truth. Dear Senator, apparently democracy is not for Russian refugees. At the moment, the one of the aspects of such a democracy for the Katz family is torture, rape, discrimination. And what is the most outrageous is our screaming for help voices being forcefully choked. TV, press, magazines are afraid to talk about shocking materials that we're presenting for publication. Why? Is that called freedom of speech?
According to the documents released to the Katz family by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, we find out that our correspondence, phone conversation, internet is not being monitored but physically constrained. In other words, telephone conversation could be redirected, abbreviated, the person we're trying to contact could be substituted, even a registered mail does not reach its destination. And we are not talking about conventional delivery. That mail disappears without any trace. And mountains of the crime committed against innocent, wonderful family is classified by US government such as B7C in the interest of defense and national security to be kept secret. Wow, is that what you call democracy?
Our internet mail is fully controlled. The test subject cells are filled full of all kinds of spying equipments. Our residents have been stolen by Stanford associates. All our investments that we obtained by hard work being robbed. Our once before 20 years of blooming business totally devastated. We are living in tiny space, presumably being treated as experimental animals. For the last 12 years, we are sleeping on the floor. Every morning, we are awakened in our 8x10 experimental cage after good night's sleep, apparently being spread by some kind of frequencies. Our voices being altered and sounded very low. Faces get swollen and, dear Senator, is the Katz family being subjected to be murdered? Please, we need response and obviously your assistance to stop this horror against family.
Follow this written introductory. We are providing DVD disc, The Saga of the Katz. This video presentation reflects reality of ongoing classified medical experiments, elements of sadistic torture, executed via brain implants, abuse of babies, confession of discrimination against children, disaster in public hospitals. Logically, we consider senators should be aware what phobic psychopaths are doing by use of governmental power. An official discussion involving elements of this criminal misconduct conducted by the Stanford, FBI, Kaiser Hospital, CIA, and anyone who supported crime against children should be openly discussed on the Senate floor.
Dear Senator, following is medical history of the Katz family since we as a refugee arrived to what we believed the land of promises, United States of America.
July 1st of 1980, Miami, Florida. Prior to move to California, Claudia visited dentist Peterson, Miami Dental Association, who founded 11 cavities. In the same year, on September 11, 1980, Claudia visited dentist Dr. Rathner, Redwood City, California, another 4 cavities. March 29, 1981, my parents as a refugee arrived from Kyiv, Ukraine to San Francisco. Father placed in Mount Sinai hospitals, On April 2nd, 1981, I came to visit my father. Prior to entering a room, two doctors stopped me and told that Dad is unconscious. He is dying. Nothing could bring him back to life. I requested the physician to allow me to talk to my dad. No, it's impossible, responded doctors. I told you, he is gone, said one of them. What was happening had heavily shocked me. A moment later, after the doctor left, I went to the coffee shop and bought strong coffee, then got back to my father and fed him spoon by spoon. 10 minutes later, he opened his eyes. On the next day, we took him home. We enjoyed him for another 4 months.
April 2, 1981, Sequoia Hospital, Redwood City, California. Our older boy, August, went through the circumcision operation. Back then, we were not able to see our baby for 8 hours. Sadly, for us, on that day, August was rudely subjected to become participant of outrage classified medical experiment. The experiments involving use of the baby's vital organs. It was carried on by the elite Stanford Nazi doctors under contract of CIA. Dear Senator, Mr. Vince Lisi and Mr. Vizzi do know who is responsible for this outrage crime against child. We need to know names of phobic psychopaths who stay behind this appalling crime. March 11 of 1982, Stanford Children's Hospital. Our son, Jay, was operated on to remove his tonsils. We were not able to see boy for 48 hours. Since that day, his brain, eyes, hearing system was and still being used for scientific experiments. We need to know names who are responsible for crime against 4-year-old baby.
Early July of 1982. Claudia visited dentist Dr. Durkin in Redwood City, California. As it appears to be hard to believe, doctor found another 8 cavities in addition to 15 found previously. More than that, doctor treated 2 healthy teeth. To make an inquiry in such a rude action, we stopped by the Dr. Durkin's office and requested Claudia's X-ray that could justify dentist's action. After hiding for a while behind the office door, soon we heard shaking voice of Mr. Durkin responded that X-ray could not be analyzed. Future complaints that we submitted for review to California Dental Association still by now remains unanswered.
March of 1986. A doctor of San Francisco Kaiser Hospital prescribed to Ed's mom new medicine to treat her thyroid gland. The medicine contained some nuclear material. During next 2 months, her health drastically degraded. She became fatally ill. Kaiser doctors diagnosed her with cancer. According to the medical record, previously she was never diagnosed for cancer prior to given medication, but only after taking this drug. In June of 1986, at San Francisco Children's Hospital, oncologist told that he never before met a patient with such strange symptoms. She had never felt pain, despite the fact that this type of cancer usually proceeds by severe pain. Overall, the cause of illness did not reflect cancer at all, that presumably Kaiser had been diagnosed Ed's mom. Children's Hospital told, "This is very unusual cancer in our practice. We had never met such one ever before." She passed away on July 7th of 1986.
Spring of 1987. At Kaiser Hospital, Redwood City, California, Claudia Katz was forcefully subjected for vicious medical experiment at the time of being treated by the Kaiser physician while being under the general anesthesia. By realizing the reality of such gross medical abuse, we are raising the question: what American government doing to Russian immigrants by forcefully placing silicon chips into the skull of the victims?